What's up YouTube, Sherpa Drake here coming at you with an in-depth guide to King's Fall's Golgoroth encounter with challenge and tips for Master. Before we get in, I've been forgetting to say I'm a top 100 Sherpa in the world, so if instead of watching a guide you want to just join me on a raid, hop in my Discord and let me know. Or if you're just looking to finish off your Master Triumph, catch my stream at twitch.tv/DrakeSG and jump in for one of my Master Challenge carries. Now that that's out of the way, let's look at the basics. We're going to break this encounter down into 3 different subjects, 1 being layout, 2 being mechanics, and 3 being strategy. To give you guys the best idea how to complete this encounter, we're going to start off by looking at the layout. The layout is pretty simple. You have 6 separate pools of light, which are made by breaking these sacks of light overhead, and that's it. There's a bridge also, but that location isn't always going to be the correct place to stand, so let's just jump into the mechanics. If we're going to break this encounter down to its core, this is pretty much just a 2-minute DPS check. And DPS can only be dealt inside each pool of light. So to stand in the pool of light, you must first shoot the sack overhead in order to initiate damage. Now you've started damage, the boss is only damageable by shooting him in his abdomen. And this is where the Gazekeeper comes into play. The Gazekeeper ensures that Golgi is always facing wherever your team is standing. This is only complicated by the fact that Golgi shoots a multitude of axiom darts in your direction. An SMG will trivialize this. The last mechanic that comes into play is when understanding the fact that if you lose his gaze at any time, damage will immediately conclude. To maintain the gaze, the second keeper will have to be positioned and ready to take gaze from the other player by precision damaging the yellow crit spot on its back. This will take the gaze off of your ally, but now you will have it for the next 18 to 20 seconds. Note that the pool of light your allies are standing in is also about 18 to 20 seconds, so aligning when they drop and when gaze is transferred makes this section really comfortable to get through. The final mechanic comes from standing in the pool of light during DPS. One of the players will acquire a buff for each pool stood in called Unstable Light. That player will have an explosion go off around them in about 6 seconds and will deal about 504,000 damage. Saying Guardians only have about 200 health, it will kill any allies within a 5-meter radius. Knowing this, you can also deal that 504,000 damage to enemies as well. So if you ever see your screen glowing green like you just got shot with a thorn in PvP, you want to immediately stop dealing damage and stand next to the boss until the 6-second timer of Unstable Light concludes. Upon that debuff going off, you want to immediately head back to damage. Assuming we understand mechanics, let's talk about strategy. We place 5 of the 6 players in the first pool of light. They will start damage as soon as his abdomen is showing. The last person is up on bridge ready to shoot his yellow crit as soon as they see the sack drops. Remember, as a Gazekeeper, your only focus is to count down the timer and aim the boss directly at their team. Now when their timer gets to around 6 seconds, the second Gazekeeper wants to position themselves so they are ready on bridge to take the next gaze. Once their ally is down to about 2 seconds, to account for desync, I suggest the next gaze be acquired then. Knowing where each pool of light will be can make this roll very simple. Now the second player has gaze, it will be a rinse and repeat until all 6 pools of light have expired and damage concludes. Now let's talk about challenge. Challenge requires that when you're holding gaze, you stand in the pool of light when it's transferred, which can be a very simple adjustment. The 3 things that can complicate this is the pool of light spawns too early, if the boss knocks you out of it, or if you die. This is something I sadly can't just throw in my guide and teach, it's something that will just have to be learned through experience. To finish this guide off, let's talk about the difference between Master and Normal. For Master, the Knight spawns in just before damage is an anti-barrier, and that's all. Hopefully these strategies and tips helps your understanding and clears. Since this is only my Goldie guide, I'll be coming out with Master strategy guides after our team decides what the best strategies are for carries. So check back in soon. That's going to be it for now, and as the Sherpas say, a la vida.